cops, they're going to be getting out of Dodge. So they're going to need the military with higher types firepower.
Well, they're militarizing the police through a thing called Noble Eagle, you know?
Yeah. The police is a military group anyway.
But they're the bigger military.
Yeah, that's the bigger military group.
The military is going to come out.
Yeah, come. But like Apostle Tahar said, all that's going to happen is them police are just going to be converted into that total military zone. It ain't going to be like how it is with a cop. But the cop, it's a police state. The cops are everywhere, not just here in the East Coast. Because we was out in Chicago and Illinois and all that stuff, and the cops are out in force. They out everywhere, man. They out. They swarming. They got the checkpoints and roadblocks. They everywhere, man. So it's a total setup.
Yep.
Over here in New York City, when you go down to Grand Central, if you're taking the subway or if you're coming on the Metro North Railroad or Amtrak, and Penn Station, which is downstairs from where we speak, and in 42nd Street at Grand Central, they got the cops and they got the military up in there. So they got people in New York, y'all already used to it. Yeah. When you go in Penn Station or Grand Central, and you think you're safe, and they standing there, they get that. That's the police. The police state's already here.
Yeah, that's a standing army too.
Yeah, years ago we used to always talk about police states coming. Police state back in the 90s. We used to say the police state coming. It's here. It came. Yeah. And you know when it came? Right after 9/11. That was the catalyst. Boom. We have been in the police state. So that's one prophecy that came to pass.
Yeah.
We've been in the police state since 2001. Yeah. And then the brother talked about the thing in Baltimore. That shit is all bullshit.
Staged.
That black woman. Now you had that black bitch. Yeah. She so-called went and smacked her son up and pulled him up. That was a setup, man. That's bull. First of all, when the bitch was out there, she was all dressed. Her hair was done. Yep. She had the jewelry on. She was all dressed like she was about to go to a club. Yep. Right. You mean to tell me she was just in the house and she just sits around the house all dressed up? You could, she was all dolled up. You could tell she just came from the salon. And then when this dude Anderson Faggot Cooper, whatever, was interviewing her. It was pretty much she was advertising herself. Yeah, my daughter's trying to become a police officer. And then the guy, Cooper, said, yeah, well, maybe if somebody from the Baltimore Police Department is watching this, you can get that application of her daughter and help her daughter get that job. And then he said, oh, and by the way, she's out of work right now. Maybe somebody can help her get a job.
Does she have 6 kids or something like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
she's a real example to the so-called.
Yeah. So you people are stupid, man. But you know what? What they're going to do, they're going to turn up the heat. They're going to turn up the heat, and these cops are going to start killing them niggas, man.
Speaking of cops, police state. Look up the words police state, which Nate is a cop. Yep. Police state is a term denoting government that exercises power arbitrarily through the police. Cause that what do you call that curfew. That was a curfew. Somebody had said it last night. The curfew wasn't for that area. It was for the whole Baltimore. Yeah. So you can be out in the suburbs, 20 miles away, and you had to be home, man. Yeah. So they're getting you used to this police state, man, which is in the scriptures, all right?
There was in that movie, The Purge. Remember that?
Well, they were talking about the Purge. Yeah. From this thing, they were talking about, on one of them news shows, they were talking about this is similar to the Purge.
Yeah, well, they had a simple ass nigga on one of the cars, and he was doing the same move that guy did in the movie The Purge. He was on the car,
because a nigga sees shit in the movie, and he does it. Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, and this guy Michael Rivera brought out about how they use something called rent-a-thug, like how they'll put.
Most of them, they said that most of those people that did all that shit were from out of town. They didn't know those people that started the most trouble. No one knew them from the community.
Right.
They didn't look familiar.
Right.
Yeah,
you'll have your agent provocateurs really from that rent-a-thug.
And Nate knows about that.
Yeah.
He doesn't teach you what goes on among the police, what the police know. You see?
Blue wall of silence.
Blue wall of silence, because there's 3 cops are black and 3 were white, so-called white, that killed this boy. You think the black woman cop is going to say, yeah, the Joey white boy and Billy Bob Cracker did it? Nah, She's gonna maintain that blue wall of silence, man.
That's
and
right.
the bitch look like a damn dyke, man.
Yeah, she
Look like she hates niggas, man.
Yeah.
She looks like she despises niggas. And
Yeah.
why didn't they do nothing? And she was a sergeant, man. You had a lieutenant, the white boy. Then you had the sergeant was her. And then I believe the rest of them were regular officers and shit. And they did the dirty work. So she couldn't jump up and say anything. She ain't going to say nothing, man. She going to play stupid. Because you niggas want to put a woman up like she's your fucking queen. She ain't your queen, man.
She's your worst enemy.
She ain't your queen. Anyway, it says, the inhabitants of a police state may experience restrictions on their mobility.
Yeah, well, like Baltimore, they had the
That's
curfew.
right. That's
One
right.
word, curfew.
That's right. Or on their freedom to express or communicate political or other views, which are subject to police monitoring or enforcement. And they do that with certain of the camps that go out there.
Oh,
They'll
absolutely.
mess with you, but if you stay on your ground, eventually they'll leave you alone, man.
Right.
So that's a police. We've been in a police state, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you know what? If you want to really go deep, we've been in a police state since Abraham Lincoln, man. That was a police state right there, man.
Yep.
So we never experienced anything outside of a police state, man.
Well, he declared
But it's
martial-
becoming more and more of a police state. The police state is tightening their grip.
Con. To back you up, he declared martial law to take over the southern states. Abraham Lincoln. That's what that was. Yeah, and then you so-called Negroes, you were used as a pawn in that, with that so-called civil rights bullshit. Anyway, I looked up rent-a-thug. And it says rent-a-thug is a person who rents himself out in the name of thuggery, lethal or otherwise. So some of those so-called agent provocateurs that are in the crowd, they really come out of those rent-a-thug groups. You have crisis actors, you have rent-a-thugs, you have agent provocateurs. That's why the scriptures say we're not ignorant of the devices of Satan. All right, that's one of his devices, to cause that chaos to justify control, okay? Ordo ab chaos. A rent-a-thug is a person who rents himself out in the name of thuggery, lethal or otherwise, in exchange for money. And so, some of these guys out there that come into the camps and listen, some of them, they're like agent provocateurs. They're like rent-a-thugs.
And you can see them.
Yeah.
You can see them.
So you got to. That's why the scripture said to be vigilant, to be sober. It says to walk circumspectly.
You got certain elements in different camps.
Yeah.
That have positions in the camp. Hey, let me say this, man. You guys that have been appointed as leaders of the different camps, you better learn how to fucking lead, man.
That's right.
If you don't know how to lead, step back and let somebody in the camp lead, man. Because if we find out about you, brother, we're gonna put you to the back, brother. You're gonna be a buck private in the Great Millstone. You better learn how to lead, man. And then we're doing the house cleaning too. So expect for a lot of you guys to get a pink slip, so to speak. Expect for a lot of you guys in the Great Millstone, you bullshit artists, you lukewarm niggas.
Right.
Okay? We're gonna kick guys out. It's time to kick guys out, man. Since Baloo, you want people to leave GMS, we're gonna kick them out, man. We kick them right to you.
Yeah.
We'll kick them right to you, man. We'll tell them to go to your camp, man. Because I'm sure you got camps all over the country, right? You don't? You got that little 14th Street camp, which when you go to the last speaking, there was a bunch of black women just talking over them, and it was nothing but confusion, man. So the Most High is not with that. The Most High is bringing elements of faggots and fairies, and the men that come down there are homosexuals, and the women are dykes, and they got that foul spirit on them. And you're trying to reason with them, and you're trying to let them speak and shit. You cannot be edified by that nigga's camp. But the Most High did that, man.
Right. Yeah, reading on, it says, talking about rent-a-thug, he will commit crimes for you. The amount of money required to... he will commit... So, hey, you find a nigga who don't like to do a decent, hard day's work. He finds out that he goes to that rent-a-thug company, whatever. He said, all I got to do is act like a nigga and cause chaos? And I get a check? Yo, I'm with that.
He does it anyway.
Yeah, I'm with that. He will commit crimes for you. So these top elites, they use the rent-a-thugs, okay? And some of them are even among what you call Israelites, all right? I'm going to tell you like it is. He will commit crimes for you. The amount of money required to successfully rent the thug will usually increase with the severity of the crime, i.e., it will cost more for him to kill your in-laws than to rob the corner store for food. As with almost any service, rates vary wildly and can also be negotiated. So